I'm back. Um, I hope everybody can hear me, but anybody gets in the room, if they can't hear me, tell me I'm about to be over. I hate this, man. Mute. No, my mic is not muted, but I can't really. I hope people can hear me. Um, you know, but tell me if you can hear me or you can't hear me. But uh, the what I was talking about on my other stream, I just was talking about before was disingenuous politics. And the thing about it is like a lot of the content creators uh, have are being disingenuous with a lot of their things that they're talking about now. It's kind of unfortunate because this used to be a kind of a space to where people would come to kind of escape that those disingenuous things that a lot of people would say. And the problem is like now you have a whole bunch of baby think tanks, and a lot of people are just saying shit just to be saying shit, not saying shit, but they're building a whole bunch of like little tribes, and they've and the thing about the little tribes are taking things as gospel. And and with the aesthetics that content creators are coming up with, the ambiance and things like that. It's called what do you call it? Uh, it's like a halo effect that's happening. So, you know, I guess if you like the person, you like how they look, or you like how they present themselves, or whatever, you start you basically will believe anything they fucking say. Like you'll believe anything they say. They can put shit on a stick, you would still eat it because you just think, you believe in them, and they're in what they're spewing. And a lot of the stuff is it's not coming from a genuine place. A lot of it is just more of a marketing tactic or a marketing campaign, or one of those type of things. And that's very unfortunate. And with the elections, um which was, it's kind of, because I mean, either candidate, I'm not a big fan of. But I started to see a phenomenon, and I never seen this before. um it started out as, people trying to play both sides of the fence. People trying to be, both sides of the fence. You had like the big guys. You had the Tariq Nasheeds, and you had, Boyd Watkins, and all this type of stuff, and then you would listen to what they were talking about. And a person like me left confused. I was like, well, are you a Trump supporter or you're not a Trump supporter? Are you a conservative or are you really not a conservative? It was kind of, um, what I saw. I mean, this is just my conjecture. I saw, like, they were seeing which way the wind was blowing a little bit further. Sometimes if the wind was blowing all the way Trump's way, they would be all in on Trump. And then if it wavered, and then you started to see they started to put all their chips on the table one way. And then then they'll, sometimes they'll pull it back, trying to play both sides of the fence, which I understand. Like some of the content creators, like, when they're trying to sell their products, and they got, different agendas and different movements. I'll give you an example. And like Boyce Watkins, for instance, he has the school, he has the finance, and all this type of stuff. Um, you know but the thing is he knows where his bread is buttered. Tariq Nasheed know the same thing. They know exactly where their bread is buttered, and it's black women. And they have to tote the line, kind of. They have to tote the line, kind of, because uh, most of their content is really consumed by black women. That's the biggest consumer of of their products and services and stuff like that. So, but what I saw is a phenomenon of them kind of moving more, not hard right, but like more right, and but they will still kind of, waver back and forth when it needs to be. They didn't want to go all the way in. They would use a disclaimer like, "Oh, I don't like both of them," blah blah blah. But if you're, if you have 100 tweets and 90 of them are pro Trump, then you must like Trump. But you'll have, you'll say, you have 10 tweets, 9 of them would be pro Trump, one of them be like, well, what, I'm just in the middle. But what you started to see is a lot of their tribe kind of like break away from that and go more of the conservative route. And and then one of the things that you started to really see that reared its ugly head was the gender war that's going on between that. And I remember I made it a point, to talk about that, because I thought the Democrats kind of, I don't know if it was contrived, but I think it was kind of a winning formula for them, because one of the things in chess, man, you don't want to telegraph your moves. You don't want to telegraph your moves. Sometimes your moves have to be really subtle. And one of the things I think that I felt like they was subtle is like they kind of put Ice Cube out there kind of because Ice Cube had been talking about this contract with Black America for a long time. You've been talking about it for a long time. Didn't get really that much heat for it, whatever, because it is what it is. But anyways, but I study public administration, so I know how the government works. I understand, some of the nuances when it comes to the plan. I looked at the plan and all this type of stuff. So the thing about it was, it wasn't the plan. What I started to see is, people started to pick sides based on gender. And Ice Cube, which he kind of got like caught in the middle, because he didn't really commit to either side when it came from a political standpoint. But if you let the news tell it, you thought that he was a Trumper, which was funny. And I was like, man, you know what? Maybe the Democrats did that on purpose, because maybe, they felt like Cube slighted them or whatever. Maybe, he's like, well, you know what? Let's put his name out there, because, they, obviously they control the media or whatever. So let's put him out there. Let him fend for himself. And what you started to start, what did you really started to see? It's like this gender war. And I think from a Democrats, they were like, well, you know what? We really need, the black vote, for instance, just to shore up things. And what better way to sell our agenda or whatever than, a black man, a controversial figure that wasn't controversial, but he became controversial. So you come out there and to make a long story short, I don't know how it happened, but anyways, the narrative was he was a Trumper. And then you have all these guys, like Boyce Watkins and Tariq, like all those, the leaders of those, so they painted the picture like, they were anti-democrats, before they were leading the no vote movement, and now, they're championing, Donald Trump, because he's willing to sit down and listen to Ice Cube. There's a lot of nuance that I can go over with, but the thing about it is like, when you look at the contract with a Black America, it's very evident that Ice Cube is not a politician, and he's not a policy maker. He doesn't really. It's very evident that he doesn't understand the political process. and this is not a slight at him. That's another thing is like with these baby think tanks, whenever you make a an observation or an argument, it's automatically you're on one side, you're on it's people just want to look for a fight. It's not like you can't just make an observation, but the thing about it, the underlying thing is like people, instead of there's you have a fraction, a whole bunch of people coming out there and beating their chests about how conservative they are. They're we're conservative, screw the Democrats, we want this and whatever. And and the thing about it is they were very ignorant to what conservatism is, and what the whole ideology part of it was left out, and nobody even talked about the ideology part of it, that which was crazy to me, because when a lot of those guys were just coming out there, these baby think tanks, these baby Fox News, black dudes, you had the like the real big ABL and all these guys, Candace Owen and all these guys, and then you started to see a whole bunch of people jumping on that bandwagon, because everybody likes to follow a winner, and they're thinking, oh, you know what, Donald Trump has turned the tide. He's sitting with Ice Cube, he's getting credibility from 50 Cent, he's getting credibility from all those type of things, and it sounds really nice, but again, there's third eye stuff that you really can't see coming. And I saw it coming. I'm like, whoa, whoa, you know what? This might be a trick, because this has been on the table for a long time. They've been talking about this for a long ass time. He's been talking about this for a long ass time, and now he's getting he's getting all these negative attention, from the cocktails from the queens and all this type of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, okay. And I know Trump is making a hard play for the black vote, which you should, everybody should, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a bonus to him. It's not going to make or break his campaign. But if he can get that, if from a stylistic standpoint, it will back up a lot of the stuff that he's already been saying about how great he's done for the black community and all this, all that rhetoric. But I don't even know if I'm on. But let me get off this bitch.